Hello Earthlings! Today on Pages and Screen I will be doing my May overview. Part 1, the books I've read this month. Obviously, duh. It was actually kind of a lot, so going to go into all of these books. It's 8 in total. The first book I read this month is Northern Lights by Philip Pullman. We had to read this for the children's literature class I'm taking in uni, and I've read it before, and I still liked it. I liked it better in English. I always like books better in English, basically. It's a story about a little girl who lives in the Oxford of an alternative reality and goes out into the north and tries to find her best friend who has been kidnapped. So much for Northern Lights. The next book I also finished for the uni class was The Hobbit. Again, this was a reread for the class. I already read it in German. Again, English version is better than the translation. I guess every one of you knows what The Hobbit is about. It's just that Tolkien's world in general just really grips me, and I'm on the brink of reading The Lord of the Rings sometime soon, maybe this year, maybe next. So, The Hobbit. The next book I read was rather a spontaneous decision. It's A Study in Scarlet and the Sign of the Four by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I'm taking a uni class called Crime Time, which deals with detective movies, and we were looking at the modern Sherlock version of A Study in Scarlet, and so I had to read the original A Study in Scarlet, and just went on reading The Sign of the Four. Doyle actually gripped me. He has a very interesting style in writing, and I nearly missed my stops. The next book I read was actually from my TBR again. It's Insurgent, and I finally finished it. I like it, I guess. I have to say that this series doesn't grip me as much as I hoped it would. It might be that I was reading 5 books at a time, but some of the other books really gripped me and I just finished them in one sitting, and that didn't happen with Insurgent, and it has not yet happened with The Legion either. I'm not really going to go into the plot of this book because it's the second book and I don't want to spoil you the series, but it has a big revelation at the end that I was actually expecting from the middle of the book on or something, and was really frustrated that Triss didn't get earlier. It was okay. I liked it. I basically like every book, so that doesn't say much. The next book I finally got my hands on is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I was kind of peer pressured into reading this because Ellie wanted to do a discussion video on the book and the film, which we didn't do just now, as you saw, because of The Fault in Our Stars. I already talked about it in my book haul. If you want to know more about the book, you can check out that video. But yeah, I liked it. I have heard amazing things about this book before. Ellie told me that it was this amazing book that I definitely had to read. I do agree that you have to read this book just because it's a classic, but I was not that impressed. I have read better books. So, The Great Gatsby. Moving on, the next book is Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. This is the first installment in the Infernal Devices trilogy, and after a while I got used to the characters and I just ate it. Cassandra Clare is definitely an author whose writing I devour. This series fits in neatly and seamlessly with the Mortal Instruments series. I do really love the steampunk feeling this has, because it's set in Victorian London, and the devices Henry develops are just so steampunky, and I really like it. What I also really adore is the clash between Victorian society and the Shadowhunters. You have Tessa, who was brought up in this Victorian mindset, and then you have the Shadowhunters, where women wear trousers and gear and fight and are not the angel in the house. And I love that Tessa's mind is actually much more emancipated that Victorian society would allow, and that she fits into this Shadowhunter society rather nicely. And now to the big news. I finally finished Storm of Swords. After 5 months, I am through. I'm going to make a pause now. I'm not going to start A Feast for Crows right now because I am through with this for a moment. It's really hard work, it's heart-wrenching, it destroys your life, it's interesting, but it feels more like a history book than a novel. And it's also 1,000 pages long, and the other one is not shorter. I can't really get into the plot of this book because that would be full of spoilers, but I'm proud to say that I finally got past the Red Wedding and the Purple Wedding, and now everybody's dead. Storm of Swords! Finally through! I'm so proud of myself. And now finally to the last book I read this month, which is Emma by Jane Austen. As you can see, it's kind of a thick book. It took me a while. It just did not take me as long as Storm of Swords, but still, in the afterword it states that nothing really happens, and that's actually what happens really nothing, but I still like it. I like the character development of Emma. I think that the couples were utterly predictable, and I was not surprised how the people ended up in this book. I was shipping them from the beginning. Let me just say it was predictable. So much for Emma. After I finish the books that I'm currently reading, I'm going to pick up Clockwork Princess. This is the third installment in the Infernal Devices trilogy by Cassandra Clare, and it promises a great finale, so yes, excited! The next book I'm going to be reading is Die Geheimnisse des Nicolas Flamel, die mächtige Zauberin, which is the third book in the series, and the English title is The Secrets of the Immortal Nicolas Flamel, the Sorceress. Next up is a book I presented to you in my haul video, The Endgames by T. Michael Martin. Again, if you want to know more about this book, I'm going to link my haul video at the end of the video so you can go check it out. As I said in my haul video, I'm really looking forward to reading this because I've heard a lot of things about it and it sounds just so interesting. And the last thing on my TBR is the Maze Runner trilogy by James Dashner, which was recommended to me very warmly and which I cannot wait to get into. So I'm going to pick this up as soon as I finish the Infernal Devices trilogy and Allegiant. So that is that for my May overview. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more. So goodbye, and I'm going to link the videos now. Here, all over the place. Here you have my April overview, here is my May haul, and here is Ellie's last video, and here you have the discussion video we did on The Fault in Our Stars. So enjoy! I'm gonna do a little wiggle dance. I'm not going to scream again, because I don't want to scare you, as I did last time. I'm sorry. Bye bye!